DA, big win obviously.
Yes.
But again, your project, to me, it was the key today. He didn't commit a foul in the first half, committed one foul for the whole game. If he's on the floor, he's as good as any player, in my opinion, in the CEBL. What kind of impact do you think he had today? And if he can play like this all the time, where do you see him bringing your team over the course of the summer?
Like you said, that's my project. And it's just having very straightforward conversations with him, and of course showing him video and all the things that you need to kind of reinforce the message. And I told him, I was like, we go as you go. So if you out there stinking it up, for lack of a better, we're not trying to get too crazy with the phrase. We're going to be up and down. Like, we're going to have to depend on somebody else. I was like, and I told him it's not always about him making a lot of points. It's just him being on the court. He was making great decisions. His activity, and then of course with him being on the court, he's hard to stop. They try to switch. I'm trying to exploit that. If they don't, the kid can play, right? It's just him being more consistent, right? As any young player, just trying to get them to be more consistent. Like every day, the work has to be the same, regardless if you're making, missing. We can't slack on certain things with him. And when he plays like that, he gives us a chance. I told him, like, Med and Jordan, they're going to do their things most nights. So you are the one that is going to make the train go. We win if you play well. And I just told him straight up. And of course, he took it in, and then he came out and played like that against a team that won 5 games in a row, against a really good team. I think that team was top in scoring, and we held them under. It's just a lot of great things that happen when we lock in and play a certain way.
Coach, Scarborough goes on this run early fourth quarter, and Jordan Bowden became like a flamethrower for you guys to get you guys back in and take the lead. How important was his role today, especially in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, like Jordan's our vet. He's a young kid too, but he just brings a certain presence. Because I think he had a shaky start to his third. I just told him settle down, and then when we get you back in, just be ready. But he could flame on really quick, and when he's playing like that, and his energy and his defense, I think the team just follows, and again, with Chris playing like that, Jordan playing like that, Med doing what he does, we got enough talent, right? We just got to be consistent with what we got.
It seems like there's been pockets in the season where we wonder if Trevion Graham's locker room leadership has been missing, and I wonder if you could speak a bit on who on the team has kind of stepped up to fill that void, if any.
Trevion was great. His presence in the locker room was so valuable last year to that, with all that happened to us last year with as far as injuries, just keeping the group together and, ready to play and compete. That was our biggest thing last year, just going out and competing every night, and I think we did that. This year, it was a big void. Chris is kind of young, so, Ahmed and Jordan, not the most vocal guys as far as leadership, but are leaders. And then, it's a big thing for Allen to be more of a leader on this team. I sat down with him this week and just really kind of letting him know, like, I don't want to see all the, he's a very emotional player. I don't want to see that. I want to see you lead by example, lead by talking to players. And I think he did that well tonight.
Coach, Louis goes out with 5 fouls, but Freddie Beam, from I think the 4-minute mark of the third quarter, he had 9 points to end up third, going to the fourth. How important was his value on the court with Louis out with the foul issues?
I just think we have a really good 1-2 punch with our point guards. Freddie brings a different dynamic than Allen, but Freddie, once he gets going, and like again, Freddie's missed training camp. He's he got here, I think the same day or day after I got here. So we're really still trying to get him, or I'm trying to get him to see things the way I want it. And I think he's starting to pick up on that. Just like it's hard to pass the ball to Shaq, full speed, 7-footer going down the middle of the paint on a quick pass. Like I said, Freddie, yes, it was the right pass, but you got to look who you're passing it to at that moment. So just getting him to learn those type things. Freddie's been great. His basketball IQ is off the charts. Just that last play, attack and then dropping it off, won us a game, with the right assist. But no, he's going to be really good for us. But I know it's kind of weird because we're 8 games in now. But, a lot of us just got here. So we're really still trying to build that cohesiveness, between the players and coaches.
I know coaches don't want to hear this, but do you find it challenging you play down to your opponent, you play up to your opponent? Do you have a fear of your opponent? Do you think your players today had a healthy fear of who they're playing against because they know Scarborough scores 96 points per game, because they shoot 40% from three, because you had to stress getting back in transition, not giving up live ball turnovers? Do you stress that for every game? Was there a healthy fear for Scarborough today?
Honestly, we stress it every game.
Okay.
I just think, and honestly, I knew we would react today, no matter who we were playing. Because we got embarrassed our last game at home. So most players and competitors, they're not going to get embarrassed 2 games in a row. You know what I mean? We're not that type of team that we're just like, oh, we're not good enough. We know we're good enough. And the only thing we talk about is being consistent in our effort. Charles did a hell of a job with the game plan, as he always does. So the message is always the same. It's just us being more consistent with it.